This is Jiggy. She's a racehorse that's been out of training for quite some time due to a knee injury. In fact, she never ran and she wasn't in training for very long. So she's been turned out in a field for quite some time. We're going to start long reining her. I would have walked her round for a few minutes just to find out what she's like, and now Heather's coming in, and Heather's going to walk round the school with the horse. This gives me time to attach the lines and then start throwing lines across her, because it's incredibly important that the horse is not afraid of lines flying about all over the place, because otherwise they'll kick out at you. So she's got to be desensitized to the lines. So here we go. This is my first throw, and there we go. She didn't, little tiny bounce, but nothing very much. So she seems pretty good with those. And I have a feeling she's been long reined before, but of course it may have been when she was a yearling, so a long time ago. That's good. She doesn't seem to mind those lines at all. That's pretty good. So I'm just going to try it one more time. See if we get a reaction. No, fine. Well, I'm happy with that. And so what we're going to do now is I've attached the long lines. I should just point out to you, this bandage which goes round from the roller all the way round her is an ace bandage, and it's extremely useful for desensitizing their quarters to the lines when you finally put them on. Now Heather's just run out of the way there very quickly. Oh my goodness, she's a little bit sensitive to those lines and she's not sure what's going to happen next. Whoop, she's coming towards me. But what you have with two lines is you have the ability to turn your horse's head away from you, which is exactly what I did then. So she's going sideways, but at least she's not coming at me. That's fine. She's just a little bit spirited, that's all. But she's going very, very nicely. This is her first time of being handled like this for quite a few years actually. She's 4 years old now. So she's having difficulty going forward off those lines. So I'm just going to repeat my request that she goes forward, and she's very quickly learning to pick up. There she goes. She's learnt to pick up on that forward movement, which is completely excellent. As you can see, I've got her head turned out of the circle a little bit because she is trying to sort of come in to visit me, which is not what I want. So her head is just a little bit out, but it will straighten up soon, you'll see. So considering this is her first time there, I've turned her. Oops. That's it. She's not sure about being turned. There we go. Gently, gently. She'll soon settle down. That's very good. Very good for a first time. I'd be very pleased with that. If that was me, she's going to be a bit skitterish, but you know, that's life. Oh, she's trying to get out of the reins, but that's fine. She's going to go forward nicely. What I will do is I'll get her trotting. Oh, we've got her trotting now. And see how she moves. There we go. She's offered a trot now. Head nice and low. She's looking well, actually. Head nice and low, and she won't be capable of doing a circle, obviously, because she's not trained, but her muscular structure will prevent her from doing a circle, so you can see she's moving at an oval. She's moving all over the place, actually. Ovals, anything but a circle. Those are the poles we have down, which I use for them once I get them going properly. They all go over poles. But she's moving very nicely now. And her head is nice and straight, you can see. And I've got a slight problem with the rope, I think, which has gone up her head. So we may have to adjust that. I usually keep a rope on the halter, because then it's really easy for somebody to come in and rescue me and adjust the rope, and that's exactly what Heather's going to do. As you can see, she's just about to come into the gate now, and she's going to take the rope back and just... We'll attach it to the roller. I think that's probably the best thing. But I do like to keep a rope on the horse, just in case. And then someone can come in and rescue me. That's lovely. Now we've put the rope through one of the rings on the roller, which is very handy. Marvellous. She's going very nicely. Very nicely. I'm very pleased with that. And although obviously we've cut this film down enormously to bring it to you in, 9 minutes, I think, but basically the film shows more of the same thing. So what I'm doing would have taken half an hour, virtually. So we've taken it down to the main components of the film so you can see what should be happening at any one time. There we go. She's trotting very nicely now. But as you can see, it's not a circle. It's a sort of square. No, it's gone rhomboid. But that it'll be a long time before she can work on a proper circle. But for a first day, that is extremely pleasing. She was actually a very easy horse to work with, and as I said, I suspect that she was long-reined when she started into racing as a yearling. And then because of the injury, they've done very, very little with her. She's been turned away, and then she finally came to Heather's. And we will be riding her soon. I think within a couple of months we'll be riding her, because she'll probably long-rein for 2 months at least. That's marvellous. That's very good. She's turning very nicely. I turn my horses so that they can use their quarters, so I don't bring them across the school and alter direction. What I do is I turn them immediately so that they move on to their quarters, and this allows them to develop their quarters. She's getting a bit jitterous here, but I think something's just upset her slightly. That's better. She's gone on now. I always take them very quickly and turn them so that they spin round on their quarters. This helps them to learn agility and to learn to give to the bit as well. It helps me enormously. The request for trot is always a raised hand. So here we are, we've stopped and I'm asking her to back up. Just asking her to back up. She hasn't got any help either, which is interesting, because sometimes if a horse is very sticky, you get someone to stand at their chest and just ask them to back up. But Jig is pretty pliable. We're doing a bit of a half pass here, but that's okay. I have taught her to half pass, by the way. Latterly, I have worked on lateral movements. But she's just backing up. And if I can just get her to stand, I'd be very happy. I just want her to stand still. One of the hardest things for a horse when you're working on it or with it for the first time is for the horse to stop and just stand and relax. And that's what I'm trying to get Jiggy to do here. It's not too bad. Okay. There you go. Now we're just going to do what I call the snake test, which is to make sure that she's not afraid of any kind of line going around her feet. So I drag the line around her feet, and I call this the snake test. And I do this with all the horses that I work with. It makes sure that you can drag these lines around their hocks, pasterns, not their hocks, their pasterns and their feet, because if they're frightened of a line, they're going to jump out of the way and they could just jump into you. So we always desensitize them like that. She's pretty good. I'm very pleased with her. That was a very good first day.